The zipper broke with a soft, unforgiving snap. It was such a small sound, barely louder than a breath, but in that moment it felt like the entire ballroom heard it. Amelia Grant stood frozen in front of the mirror, her fingers still clutching the delicate fabric of her daughter's dress. The silk, pale blue, soft as a whisper, hung open at the back. The seam split just enough to turn perfection into disaster. Behind her, the noise of the gala swelled. Laughter, clinking glasses, polite applause, but all of it faded into a distant roar inside her ears. "No, no, no, no," she whispered, her voice trembling. Her daughter, Lily, stood in the center of the dressing room, her small shoulders stiff, her wide eyes already shimmering with tears. She was trying desperately to hold back. She was only 8, but tonight mattered more to her than anything else in the world. "Mom, is it bad?" Lily asked, her voice so small it broke something inside Amelia. Amelia swallowed hard. She was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. She had handled hostile takeovers, ruthless negotiations, and rooms full of powerful investors without flinching. But this tiny broken zipper had reduced her to panic. It's nothing," she said quickly, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We'll fix it." But she knew they wouldn't. The gala was already underway. The event coordinator had made it clear. Lily's performance was in less than 20 minutes. There was no backup dress, no tailor, no time. And Lily had practiced for months for this moment. Her ballet routine meant to open the charity evening. Amelia turned back to the mirror, her hands shaking as she tried to pinch the fabric together. It slipped through her fingers again and again, useless. "Why won't it just stay?" she muttered, her breath quickening. "Mom," Lily's voice cracked now. Am I not going to dance?" The question hit like a blade. Amelia spun around. "Of course you are," she said too quickly. "You have to. Everyone's here. The donors, the board, the press, this night." She stopped herself, the weight of her words sinking in. This night, not Lily's moment. Not her joy, her own image, her reputation, the success of the event. Lily's tears spilled over. "I don't care about them," she whispered. I wanted to dance." Something twisted painfully in Amelia's chest. Before she could respond, there was a soft knock on the door. Amelia stiffened. "We're busy," she called out sharply, not bothering to hide the edge in her voice. The door opened anyway, just a crack. "I'm sorry," a man said gently. "They said someone needed help in here." Amelia turned, irritation flashing in her eyes, ready to dismiss whoever had interrupted. But the words caught in her throat. The man standing in the doorway didn't belong in this world of polished elegance. He wore a simple black uniform, the kind worn by the cleaning staff, his sleeves rolled up, his posture relaxed but respectful. A young girl peeked out from behind him, clutching his hand. "I didn't mean to intrude," he added. "I just heard—" "We're fine," Amelia said quickly, her tone sharp again. "Thank you." The man didn't leave. Instead, his eyes moved quietly from Amelia to Lily, then to the torn dress. He didn't look judgmental. He didn't look curious. He just looked calm. "Zipper?" he asked softly. Amelia hesitated, then exhaled in frustration. "Yes, and it's ruined. There's no time to fix it." The man nodded slowly, as if considering something. "May I take a look?" Amelia almost said no. This was absurd. She was the CEO of the company hosting this gala. Why would she trust a janitor with something this important? But Lily's sniffle filled the room, and Amelia's certainty faltered. "Fine," she said, stepping aside. The man walked in, his daughter trailing behind him. He crouched down in front of Lily, his movements unhurried. "Hi," he said with a warm smile. "I'm Daniel. What's your name?" Lily, she whispered. "That's a beautiful name," he said. "And that's a beautiful dress. Let's see if we can help it a little, yeah?" Lily nodded hesitantly. Amelia watched, her arms crossed tightly, her heart still racing. Daniel examined the zipper carefully, his fingers gentle as he turned the fabric over. He murmured. "It's not ruined." Amelia let out a short, incredulous laugh. "It absolutely is. The seam's split." He glanced up at her, his expression still calm. "Seams can be fixed," he said simply. "Not in 10 minutes," she shot back. He didn't argue. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, worn pouch. From it, he took a needle and a spool of thread. Amelia blinked. "You carry a sewing kit?" she asked, disbelief creeping into her voice. Daniel smiled faintly. "Single dad," he said. "You learn a few things." His daughter, about Lily's age, stepped forward. "My dad fixes everything," she said proudly. Daniel chuckled. "Not everything," he corrected gently. "But I try." He turned back to the dress, threading the needle with practiced ease. The room fell quiet, the tension slowly shifting. Amelia watched his hands move, steady, precise, unhurried. There was no panic in him, no rush, just quiet focus. How are you so calm?" she asked before she could stop herself. Daniel shrugged lightly. "Because panicking doesn't fix zippers." The simplicity of the answer caught her off guard. "I've seen worse," he added. "Once had to stitch up a superhero costume 5 minutes before a school play." "This?" he smiled. "This is easy." Lily let out a small, hopeful laugh. Amelia felt something inside her loosen, just a little. Minutes passed. The noise of the gala seemed distant now, like a different world entirely. In this small room, there was only the soft pull of thread through fabric, the quiet breathing of a child trying not to cry, and the steady presence of a man who refused to rush. "You know," Daniel said as he worked, "my daughter gets nervous before performances, too." "Do not," his daughter protested, though her cheeks flushed. He grinned. "You do, but you always do great anyway." He looked up at Lily. "You nervous?" She nodded. "That's okay," he said. "It just means you care." Lily took a shaky breath. "I practiced a lot," she said. "I can tell," he replied. "You don't practice that much unless you love it." Amelia felt her throat tighten. Love. When had this stopped being about love? Daniel tied off the final stitch and gently smoothed the fabric. "There we go," he said. He stepped back, letting Lily turn toward the mirror. The seam was nearly invisible. Lily's eyes widened. It's fixed?" "Good as new," he said with a small nod. Before Amelia could say anything, Lily threw her arms around him. "Thank you," she said, her voice bright again. Daniel looked surprised for a second, then smiled and gently patted her back. "You're welcome, kiddo. Now go show them what you can do." Lily pulled back, her face glowing. Amelia stood there, stunned. She had spent the last 10 minutes spiraling into panic, consumed by image, control, and failure. And this man had walked in and quietly solved everything. No drama, no ego, just kindness. "Daniel," she said, her voice softer now. I don't know how to thank you." He shook his head. "You don't have to." "I insist," she said. "At least let me—" "Hey," he interrupted gently. "She's the one you should be looking at." Amelia turned. Lily stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her dress, her posture straight, her eyes shining with excitement instead of fear. In that moment, the gala, the donors, the headlines, none of it mattered. Only her daughter did. Amelia swallowed hard. "You're right," she said quietly. Daniel smiled. "Good." There was a knock at the door again, this time more urgent. "Ms. Grant?" "2 minutes." Amelia took a deep breath. "Go," she said to Lily. Lily nodded, then paused. "Mom?" she said. "Yes?" "Will you watch me? Not your phone. Not talking to people. Just me." The question landed heavy. Amelia felt tears sting her eyes. "I promise," she said. "Just you." Lily smiled, then ran out of the room. Amelia turned back to Daniel. "Thank you," she said again, this time with real meaning. He nodded once. "Anytime." As she stepped toward the door, she hesitated. "What do you do?" she asked. He smiled faintly. "Tonight, I fix dresses." She laughed softly. Then she left. Out in the grand ballroom, the lights dimmed, and the music began. Amelia took her seat in the front row. For the first time that night, she didn't check her phone. She didn't scan the room for important faces. She didn't think about speeches or deals. She just watched. And when Lily stepped onto the stage, graceful, confident, radiant, Amelia felt her heart swell in a way no business victory had ever made her feel. The dance was beautiful. Not perfect, but real. Full of feeling. Full of joy. And when it ended, the applause filled the room. Amelia stood, clapping harder than anyone, tears streaming down her face. Because she knew the truth now. The night hadn't been saved by power or money or control. It had been saved by a quiet act of kindness, by a man who chose calm over chaos and care over recognition. And as Amelia wiped her tears, she made a silent promise that she would never again let the noise of the world drown out what truly mattered.